Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Want to Ride a Bike in the Netherlands? Learn the Rules. I don't know if I want to because I think I'd be a little scared because I know they're professionals and I don't know, I'm not that proficient in riding a bicycle, so I don't want them to get annoyed with me. But let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
You're welcome to visit the Netherlands to cycle here, but you should know the basic traffic rules. Where you can cycle and who has the right of way. And that's not always you on a bicycle.
Really?
If you're from Europe, Dutch signs and regulations may not feel completely unfamiliar. The Netherlands follows the 1968 Vienna Convention, so many of the most important signs look similar across Europe. The differences become more noticeable if you're from North or South America or Australia. A zebra crossing in the Netherlands looks like this. It's the equivalent of this in the US,
yeah, but I think that's
and this
similar
in Australia.
Well, those are normal.
Fortunately, things don't always look quite that different. Let's go through the basic rules. Where can you ride? Perhaps it's easier to start with where you cannot ride. On the pavement or sidewalk. And not in pedestrianized areas either.
I would love to know if they actually follow, this kind of rules, because I think maybe I've seen pedestrians, in sidewalks, and probably there are bicycles there, but I don't know. We'd love to know if they actually do, it's mandatory, people don't do that there.
Applies to paths marked with this sign. That's walking only.
Okay,
You can cycle in residential zones, also known as home zones, or in Dutch, woonerf. Here, just like motorists, cyclists must give priority to people walking.
Yeah, the pedestrians always
You cannot cycle on roads reserved for motor vehicles. When you see this sign, cycling is prohibited. The same applies when you see this sign or this. Roads for cars only, or motorways. So you can't cycle here.
I would love to know the people, I know that no one's crazy enough to, I'm gonna go in the highway in a bicycle. Probably there's no one, no crazy people here, please.
But there's almost always a nearby alternative.
I love that.
This sign marks the start of a cycle path.
Oh yeah, the bicycle in blue, makes sense.
Sometimes these paths are shared with mopeds. These signs indicate mandatory cycle paths. You must use them.
How do you know it's
mandatory? You're not allowed to cycle on the carriageway alongside. Non-mandatory cycle paths are indicated with this sign, which literally says cycle path. In that case, cycling on the road is also allowed. Here, for example, it provides the only access to some residential high-rise buildings. This sign is rare in cities. You're more likely to see it in the countryside, where it often offers a quieter alternative to a more direct route.
Oh, that's nice.
The current Dutch road signs date from 1990. Earlier versions from the 1960s were more elaborate.
Give me the elaborate
version, occasionally, you might still encounter an older sign, like this mandatory cycle path sign from the 1960s.
And it's still standing?
When a cycle path sign has a red diagonal line, it simply means the end of the cycle path.
Yeah, you can't.
It does not mean that cycling is no longer allowed. A useful rule of thumb: a red surface usually indicates space for cyclists. Unless you're in Utrecht, which also uses red asphalt for bus-only streets.
Hopefully you don't make that mistake.
The design makes the difference quite clear.
Thank you.
Sometimes red asphalt can also be used by cars. These are so-called cycle streets, where motorists are guests.
You're cheering your
They are often marked with this sign, which you can also find in other countries, from Lithuania to Belgium.
I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
However, these signs are not always used. Because the cycle street has no formal legal status in the Netherlands, some cities use different signs, or none at all, and rely on the street design to make the situation clear.
It's not clear to me. What?
Prohibitions. When something is prohibited, you will usually see a round white sign with a red border. We've already seen the no entry for cyclists sign.
Yeah, no cyclists.
Similar signs exist for other vehicles and even for pedestrians. They can also indicate restrictions on height, width, length, axle load and total weight,
I think that's kind of crazy to me because how do you know how wide is your car? I don't know.
Priority. In the Netherlands, priority is regulated using a set of 7 signs, which you'll see very frequently.
Okay, it's
If
normal.
you must give priority, you'll see this yield sign. Fortunately, it looks almost the same all over the world.
It's
Stop
standard.
signs do exist in the Netherlands, but they are rare.
Oh, really?
Like in most of Europe, they are only used where visibility is very
Oh,
poor.
yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah,
You
sure.
have priority when you are on a priority road, indicated by a diamond-shaped sign. These roads give you priority over all side streets. They are usually larger roads, often with separate cycle paths.
Yeah, but you as a cyclist?
Priority road ends when the sign has diagonal slashes. But more often, a yield sign is used to end the priority road.
Oh, I can see, yeah. It's over.
In 2012,
Well, not over,
the
but,
1990 road design was improved to better support colorblind users. Additional
Oh.
contrasting lines make the signs clearer for everyone.
know it's
Interestingly,
colorblind
in
people.
1990 these lines were used only on blue signs, but they are now applied to all signs. As a result, you can encounter both old and updated versions in the street.
They kind of look so similar.
This sign means you have priority over side roads on both sides. This is the old version, and this is the improved one.
I think they're just
Here,
so similar.
priority applies only over a side
Yeah.
street on the left. The same sign also exists
To the
for a
other
side
side.
road on the right only. Road markings provide extra information about priority.
What is that?
Shark's teeth on the road mirror the yield sign. If they
Oh,
point
it's for
towards you,
bicycles.
you must give way. The surface color is another clue. If the red of a cycle path continues across a junction, cyclists have priority. If it is interrupted, cyclists must yield.
Oh, and that's why it's... Okay, yeah, it makes
Inside
sense.
30 km/h zones, indicated by signs like this, priority signs are usually absent. That means the default rules apply. Traffic going straight on always has priority over traffic turning off the same road,
Yeah, isn't that standard as well?
including cyclists and also
Oh, yeah.
pedestrians walking straight ahead.
Oh, I didn't realize they had a bicycle path.
Another basic rule is that traffic from the right has the right of way. This also applies at T-junctions. This rule often surprises visitors from countries where this is different. There's one important exception, the exit construction. When there is a change in height, traffic on the continuous level surface has priority.
And how do you know if there's a change
Today,
in height?
exit constructions are widely used to organize priority in sign-free zones.
Oh, they did it on purpose. Okay.
The end of such zones is indicated by grey signs with diagonal slashes. Slashes always mark the end of a previous arrangement. When there are traffic lights, you need to follow the ones for cycling. Never look at the lights for pedestrians. They have different phases and might not get green when there are no
How do you
pedestrians.
know what... How do you know...
One-way
Oh, it was a
streets
bicycle.
enclosures. Some streets are closed to traffic. The signs for this are also internationally recognizable.
No bicycles do not enter.
This sign indicates a one-way street and you are facing the closed end. This is where the cyclist's accepted sign becomes important. With this sub-sign added, the street is still closed to cars, but not to cyclists.
Oh, that's what it means. You can go on your
Counterflow
bike.
cycling is often reinforced with road markings. In one-way streets you'll also see blue signs with arrows showing the permitted direction of travel. These can also be combined with cyclists accepted. Roundabouts always have a counterclockwise driving direction.
I think that's also
However,
standard.
some roundabouts allow two-way cycling.
Oh my
In
god,
those
okay.
cases,
What?
some cities add a cyclist's accepted sign here as well.
That's insane to
Parking.
me.
In general, you can park your bicycle almost anywhere, unless indicated otherwise.
Could you get a ticket?
This blue sign with a diagonal line means no parking for motor vehicles. A full red cross means
No parking ever.
no stopping at any time. There's also a no parking sign specifically for bicycles and mopeds. It can
Yeah,
apply
it's
to
easy
an
enough to
entire
get.
zone. for example around stations or in city centers. Sometimes this means bicycles may only be parked in designated racks and not outside them. The positive sign for bicycle parking is blue and hard to misunderstand. Warnings. Warning signs are triangular with a red border. They are less common on cycle paths, but on shared roads you may see warnings for dangerous junctions, roundabouts, speed humps, road narrowing, children playing, or even cows crossing. Most of these signs speak for themselves. Finally, other road users may be warned to look out for cyclists,
watch out for the cyclist,
which is generally good advice when driving in the Netherlands. There will always be cyclists to be aware of.
I'd be scared of getting into that car. Seeing it like this it just dawned on me, and I was thinking about this throughout the whole video, how I think it's just normal once you kind of get used to this, and probably it's normal, and once you do it, it's sort of second nature. But just looking at it like that, as in everything so exemplified, and you get to see all the different rules, all the different signs. I was thinking, I feel like you're taking a test, as in your driving lessons, and I'm failing my driving test. Because it's just a lot of things. And I think sometimes when you're driving, and I would assume it's the same obviously for both, when you're either bicycling, driving, or crossing the street or anything, obviously you're not super aware. Well, you of course you're aware, but what I mean is that you're not constantly, 100% sort of, you're not seeing at everything, and you just do this unconsciously, as in, a traffic light, you see a traffic light, and I have to stop, and then I have to go. But you're not thinking, oh, there's a traffic light here. Give me a moment. Let me see. What does green mean? What does red mean? And I think sometimes, again, you just do this, I think, in automatic pilot. And I think, obviously, I put the example of a traffic light. But in this case, in which there are so many signs, and again, probably it's just because, again, it's a video, and they're trying to teach you. So there's just a lot of information. There's just a lot of things. Then I'm thinking, oh my god, there's just a lot of info. It's a huge info dump, and my brain cannot handle it. And I'm thinking, I'd be so scared of either riding a bike or driving in the Netherlands, because I'm thinking there's just a lot of signs that you have to pay attention to. Even if it's just walking, because I don't want to be walking and then I'm getting run over by a cyclist or a car. I think, cars are less sort of, maybe it's just less of a problem. I think if you're a pedestrian, just because I think you kind of use your common sense, and then if you're not going into this, there are certain ways I think you can sort of know, sort of logically, that you can't actually cross the street as a pedestrian, or there's no pedestrians here. But I think when it comes to bicycles, and maybe I think when it comes to pedestrians and bicycles, that it kind of are, they're not joined together, especially I think in the Netherlands. But I think when it comes to cars, I think cars are just a little bit more of a, you have a hole, and you're sort of, I'm sort of safe in my car. I think cyclists and pedestrians are more sort of open to the elements and just feel a little bit more sort of out in the open. So I think maybe that's where, maybe this doesn't really make sense. But I think to me, I kind of see it as a similar thing as, yes, pedestrians and cyclists are sort of in the same sort of similar category. So I'm thinking, well, if you're a pedestrian, or the other way, if you're a cyclist, and I'm scared of getting either, I'm running over a pedestrian, or the other way, I'm a pedestrian and the cyclist is running me over. And which probably is going to be, I'm sorry, I do not know. People are going to be so mad, and they're going to be, you don't see the sign? I'm sorry, no, I did not saw the sign, because I'm so, now I know I have to be super hyper aware. But what I meant is again, of course, I think for Dutch people, and if you move there, or if you're, even I think as a tourist, you're probably just, you're going to have to get used to this a little bit, but it's not going to be, it's not, it's not physics, it's not going to take you years to learn this, but I do believe it comes as second nature. And probably, again, if there are roads that you obviously, it's part of your routine, you already know, and it's things that you automatically know where you're supposed to go, where you're not supposed to go. But I think as a tourist, I think it looks quite intimidating, because I'm thinking, if you're going to be staying there for, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it's just a lot of things to learn in a very short amount of time. And I don't know, I'm scared. I'm scared of everything. I don't know. I'm scared of being a pedestrian. I'm scared of riding. I'm scared of driving, and I'm scared of the bike. I don't know. I mean, I think I would use public transport. I think, didn't you have a subway? I'd rather use the subway or maybe a bus or something, because I'm a little scared about the situation. I think it looks quite overwhelming. And again, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just because of it's the video and it's trying to explain things to you, and it's just a lot of things. It's not going to be, the chances of you using or probably seeing all these signs if you're a tourist are probably going to be very small, because you're probably going to be walking around certain spaces, certain places in particular. You're not going to be, oh, I'm going to the Netherlands and I'm going to visit every single city, and I'm going to go to the residential areas, and I'm gonna be at a strip where they're crossing cows. No, cows are crossing. No, of course not. But I don't know. It's just very, oh my god. If you ever, I feel kind of wow. If you're ever planning on moving to the Netherlands and you're gonna have to learn these things, because these are, yes, you're gonna have to learn them. I feel wow. You're gonna have to really do. It's a teaching experience. You're going to have to take a couple of classes, and you're really going to have to study this, because it's just a lot of things. And even though obviously some of them are kind of universal and some are self-explanatory, you don't really need a lot of, you don't need a lot. But I think when it comes to, obviously you can see the signs. Some of them, I don't think I've ever seen them, but just as well, whatever is okay. No matter the sign. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's say you already got over that hurdle. Still, the idea of you kind of getting used to transiting this place or just traveling this particular areas with all those rules, I think it can be a little bit overwhelming. I think especially if you come from a place where there's just not a lot of bikes, I think, which are probably most of the rest of the world. You only have cars and you have pedestrians, and that's it. So to see a crossing where you have the bike. There was one particular intersection in which you had the pedestrians and you had the bicycle, and then you had a car, and it's just a lot of things. And I think it would take you some time to get used to, or some time to learn and do this automatically, because again, you're going to learn it. It's a little bit hard, but of course it's not impossible. And obviously it's about routine. Once you do this a couple of times, now you're going to get the hang of it. But I think as a tourist, it looks kind of intimidating just to see, oh my god, I don't know, follow everyone. I think that would be my favorite. I think especially if you're a pedestrian, I think you can get away with things easier, or maybe a little bit easier, just follow everyone. But if you're in a bicycle, I'd be very, very scared of riding a bicycle here, just because I don't want to get yelled at. It's I'm sorry. And the car thing just as well. It's you're in your car, and there's just a lot of traffic signs, and there's just a lot of things, and you're just, I have no idea. The roundabout thing, that also, but I think it's just obviously for bicycles, that you can go both ways in a bicycle. That seems insane to me. I think roundabouts are usually, it always goes it's always in the same direction. It's like this, so it's kind of crazy. No, wait, you can go the other way. What? I don't know. It's insane. But good for them, because I think obviously in other places, even though probably people have bikes, it's just a sort of, oh, you have if you're lucky enough to have a bicycle path and there's just a cycling lane, but they have a cycling lane, and it's usually, I don't know, the rules are not that sort of cut and dry, and the roads are not that far away. All those cycling lanes are not just, oh, it's gonna go forever, or in this case, it doesn't go forever, as we could see. Sometimes they stop. But I think even again, if you have a cycling lane, they usually do not go. I think especially maybe in Europe it's different, but I think in the United States, if you're lucky enough to have a cycling lane, because that doesn't usually happen, they don't run that far, and it's not that complicated. And because again, maybe it's just less traffic in general. Less traffic as in not a lot of people are cycling, so it's just less traffic, and people are just going in the street as well, because again, you have a sort of, I know they're running parallel to the cars, and I think, and again, it's just a little bit different. I'm thinking of cities, I know big cities, but in this case, as a separate sort of cycling lane that goes separate to the cars, I think that's only that probably the Netherlands has. Obviously, I don't know. Probably there are other places in Europe that have them, but I think it's weird for me. I think to my eyes, I know that it's weird, but I know for them it's not weird. It's just kind of, wow, that's so efficient. You have a cycling lane that goes to another different path in another direction than the cars. That's crazy. And probably that's what I mean, where you have to really watch out for the pedestrians, and that's when you sort of, pedestrians and cyclists are sort of in the same category, and it's separate from cars. Cars are just a little bit more, I don't know, probably a little bit more dangerous. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.